Over 7 million people visit Tenerife every year, but around 70% of them never leave the resorts of the south. They come for the guaranteed sunshine, but by staying by the pool, they miss the real island. More and more visitors are realising that the wild side of Tenerife, the side with the history, the culture and the jagged edges, is the side worth seeing. It's an adventure you can't get on a sun lounger. In this video, I'm exploring the wild northwest, and I'm starting in a place that I found by accident. Driving along the north coast, I spotted a village clinging to the edge of the Atlantic. This is Las Aguas.
I found a beautiful little spot here, a little place called Las Aguas, where you go right up to the waves, which are quite angry today, and it's got this big rock.
It's not a place for swimming. The waves here roll in with zero hesitation.
I feel the spray of it. I might get splashed actually. Saying that, it's not wet up here. I think I'm safe. No, it's wet on the edge. Very pretty.
If you do want to get into the water, check out Charco de La Laja, just along the coast. It's a natural volcanic pool, and if you catch it at low tide, the rock walls protect you from the waves, giving you a safe saltwater lagoon right on the edge of the wild ocean.
We've got Puerto de la Cruz just down there. You can actually get a really good view right the way down the island here. So awkwardly, there's like a classic car parked next to mine. And you would think the sea and these rocks would be the main attraction here. But it seems to be this classic car. So now I want to try and get back in my car. But there's a crowd. I'll just go for a walk. I mean, it's a nice car. I'll give them that. A bit nicer than my Hyundai. Mega waves going on over there. Whoa. All of the sound of the sea. Oh, the main attraction is leaving. Thankfully, because I was parked quite close to it. I don't fancy trying to get in.
Just up from the water is the town of San Juan del Reparo. I hadn't planned to stop here either, but it's one of those places that just kind of pulls you in.
A lovely town, this. Beautiful. A hostel. What a nice place to have a hostel. We'll cross over. But yeah, there's a little terrace there. It's so well maintained as well. Didn't know about this. Wasn't on my plan to come here. I just saw it on the map, and then I was about to leave this town, and I was like, oh, I like it when that happens. So, this is supposed to be a memorial for local shoemakers. I guess that's what the town is known for. But the shoes are being repaired. I mean, at least they're being repaired. Shows they're taking care of it, right? Sure, if my shoes had been sat outside for years on top of a plinth, they'd be a bit wrecked as well. Church is under restoration as well. Church in the boots. A party going on down here. It just seems to be a chip stand. Yeah, they were selling hot dogs and churros. I'm like, I can't resist either. So I'll have hot dogs and churros. The guy's folded, I'll show you. The guy's folded up the hot dog like it's a empanada. A lovely place. Right, here it is. The hot dog that he's folded up. They were all laughing because he made it look like an empanada. So I'm going to sit here. I'm going to have my hot dogs from my churros, which, to be fair, I've already started eating. And it's real good. I could just eat the churros, to be honest. I just got the hot dog to be polite.
The next morning I drove west to Icod de los Vinos.
So I've came to this town further down the west coast called Icod de los Vinos, and it's built on the hillside, and the sun is out, and it's beautiful. And look at that view. Incredible. So this is like the main plaza, which is kind of built up on a platform above the town, although the whole town is just sort of going downhill. The most famous thing here is a tree. There seems to be a theme in the Canaries, and there's a whole sort of botanical garden park around this tree, but apparently you can see it from this plaza, but I don't think it's this tree, but this tree is quite impressive as well. And it's actually quite quiet tourist-wise. There's a few main attractions here. Butterfly Park, which is just here, right opposite the main square. I'm not going to be doing the Butterfly Museum because to me butterflies are just colourful moths, and I hate moths. This seems to be the photo op up here. A great view here with T-Day in the background. Not a bad first stop for the day, this. So yeah, that's the main attraction here, is this park. I think it's just the botanical gardens, but the main feature of it, or the main site, is that tree, which you can come to the plaza and see for free, and look over the gardens. I'm sure it's nice to wander around, it's only €5. I'll see how I feel. But I'm staying up here. Beyond that though, about 15 minutes away from here. I've literally never heard of this town. The last time I was in Tenerife, maybe not the last time, the second to last time I was in Tenerife, I stayed in Punta de Teno and I didn't even come here. This might be a continuity problem because I did film whilst I was there and I might be using it in the same video, but hey ho, let's pretend it's all the same trip. Cool tree, cool plaza, nice town, beautiful church. I'm off in the search for coffee. It looks like there's a place down here. Oh, this isn't on the map. Chocolate and churros. That'll do. That was easy. And you're thinking to yourself, didn't you have churros for dinner last night? Yes, I did. They're a versatile food. So this time, most of the industry around here was agriculture, and they got rich from sugarcane and then later wine, which explains some of the grand buildings, the plaza, the church. So speaking of rich people, oh wow. So inside here there's the Tourist Information Centre. There's also a couple of exhibits. This one is about the traditions of the town, which of course Spain love a weird tradition. I mean, it's not weird, I think they're great. They're just going down the streets on boards.
That tradition's called the Tablas de San Andrés. Every November, the locals grease up wooden boards and hurl themselves down these steep streets at breakneck speeds. It's basically extreme sledging on concrete.
Oh, they do a bull run here as well. Oh, this is what I saw a mural of in the car park. So this, the Plaza de la Pila, was the centre of the town at one point, and it's been really well preserved. It's beautiful. I really like this little town. I didn't even know it existed. And it has existed for quite a while.
You want something a bit deeper? Icod is also the gateway to the Cueva del Viento. It's one of the largest lava tube complexes in the world. Heads up though, you need to book in advance, and I wasn't organised enough, so I missed that.
So we're going to go down to the sea from here, and there's another little town that I guess would have been the port for this town, probably. But that's quite common in these islands, to have the town, the historic town, sort of inland, and then a separate port, because they were trying to keep themselves safe from pirates. Not 100% sure if that was the case here, but I suspect so.
Turns out I was right. This is San Marcos, and for a long time this was the timber port. Massive pine trees logged in the forests of Tide above were dragged down here and sent to mainland Spain, used to build ships for the Spanish Armada. Today, that natural harbour serves a different purpose. Because the cliffs block the trade winds and the huge Atlantic swells, This is one of the few places on the north coast where you can swim without fighting for your life. It's a bit of a favourite with the locals, black sand, calm water, and not a single neon sign in sight. While exploring this region, I based myself high up on the hillside in a village called San Juan del Reparo. The location is stunning, but getting to my accommodation was an experience. My great value find was located on the street called Calle El Monte. That should have been a bit of a clue. The drive up felt less like a road and more like driving up a vertical wall. But once I stopped sweating about my clutch, the view from the top made everything worth it.
I've just arrived at where I'm staying tonight. Look at that view. That's amazing.
And the view down is the real reason you come here. From here, you're looking at the site of the most dramatic event in the island's recent history.
Behind me is the town of Garachico, which is essentially the Pompeii of Tenerife. It was one of the wealthiest towns on the island until the volcano erupted.
In 1706, the Trevejo volcano erupted, sending a river of lava down this cliff. It buried the harbour, which was the commercial heart of the island at the time, and destroyed the local economy overnight.
The lava flow, though, unlike Pompeii, was actually quite slow, so most of the residents were able to escape. And because the old town is elevated, most of the old town survived. So we'll be able to go and have a look around there. Because it was a wealthy town, the buildings in the old town are supposedly quite fancy.
Italian bankers from Genoa settled here to control the sugar and wine trade, financing the Spanish Empire's expansion across the Atlantic. Because the old town sits slightly higher up, it escaped the worst of the lava. The convent of San Francisco and Santa Ana Church still stand today as proof of that immense lost wealth.
This is really beautiful. Thankfully the lava didn't destroy this. So the town here was a pretty important and major port. They exported loads of wine to England from here, and it was also the last sort of stopping point for ships that were sailing to America. So down here there's a park with a gate, and the gate was the original entrance to the city from the port, and all this extra land that was created after the lava flow was obviously extended it out quite a bit. So this was sea level down here, the entrance from the old original port, what we would have just been on, and I guess the old town which survived the volcanic eruptions above us, so it's up there. So as part of one of the festivals here, the locals set fireworks off on the mountain that's just behind us, where the lava would have flowed down. They roll down, I think, like barrels of burning wood and metal or whatever, so that in the dark it looks like the lava coming down. I think this is where they set off the fireworks and stuff from.
The Castillo de San Miguel was built in 1575 to stop pirates, but its real test was the volcano. When the lava hit the coast, it just split around these walls. The town burned and the harbour vanished, but this fortress survived.
So here you've got the end of what was the lava flow, where they've kind of put paving around it because there's some natural pools that have been made from it that's closed off at the minute because the waves are too big to go. They don't look that big. Beautiful little town. I'm glad it didn't get completely destroyed. I'm sure the residents were a bit more glad, but I'm glad. We should all be glad.
Just offshore, the rock de Garachico used to be the landmark for ships sailing in from the Americas. They used it to find the harbour entrance. Today, it just stands guard over a port that doesn't exist anymore. Just a little bit further down is Los Sillos. If Garachico is the famous sibling, Los Sillos is the quiet artistic one.
So I've decided to stop in Los Sillos, which is kind of like the quiet neighbour of the other two towns, or two main towns in the northwest. But it's got a beautiful plaza with this beautiful white church. Look at it. As far as churches go, that's quite pretty. But this place is so quiet. I feel like I need to whisper in comparison to where we just were. This is the main plaza. It's lovely. So every December there's a big storytelling festival held here. And I'm thinking maybe these masks are still up from that. Saying that, it's probably another 3 festivals that have happened since then. This is Spain. We love a festival in Spain. Oh, this little kiosk in the middle, so cute. It's now a little cafe. So this building behind me is an old music school. You wouldn't think like a little village would have that. I don't think there's a great deal to see here, but it is nice. It feels very calm. There are 2 parts to the town. There's a port down at the sea, and this is more inland.
From the coast I had to climb. To understand this landscape, we need to rewind 7 million years. Back then, Tenerife didn't exist. 3 separate volcanoes rose out of the Atlantic, but Teno, where we are now, was the first to break the surface. Over millions of years, a massive central volcano erupted between these 3 islands. It flooded the ocean gaps with lava, welding them together to form the Tenerife we know today. That central volcano eventually collapsed to create the Cañadas crater, and Tide rose from the wreckage. But Teno remained. It's the ancient withered survivor, and the skeleton of that original separate island. Santiago del Tide sits on the geological scar tissue of the island. It marks the geological boundary. To the west, the sharp eroded peaks of the old Teno Shield volcano. To the east, the younger, smoother slopes of the island's main backbone. Even today, the earth here is volatile. The jagged black rock surrounding the town dates back to the Chipinero eruption in 1909. That was the last time that Tenerife had an eruption on land. The lava flowed down this valley and stopped just meters from the houses. As a reminder that this island's still very much under construction. Crossing the pass takes you across an ancient political border. Before the Spanish arrived in the 15th century, Tenerife was divided into 9 kingdoms, or menceñatos, each ruled by a king, or mense. We're currently in the menceñato of Daute, the warrior kingdom of the west. The Guanche people used this terrain as a natural fortress.
These ravines made Daute almost impossible to invade. While the Spanish conquistadors took the beaches easily, places like Masca held out. It offered water, caves for living, and high ground that no army could march up. Can't see it very well because of where the sun is, but you follow that road, crazy road down, and you end up here at Masca, which is an ancient Guanche settlement. But it's absolutely packed with people, and there's just a huge queue of cars waiting to get parked, so it might just be a drive-by visit this. The road here today remains a bit of a logistical nightmare. I suggest either booking an organised trip or leaving your hire car in Santiago del Tide and catching the 355 bus. We've got an amazing view up here. We've got La Palma over in that direction and a really clear view of part of La Gomera. The rest of it's covered in cloud. The ravine gives way to the coastal platform of Buena Vista del Norte. This flat shelf of land was created by later lava flows running off the old Teno Massif and cooling in the sea. Yes, I'm well aware of the fact that I look like a twat with my hoodie tied around my neck, but it won't stay around my waist, so this is where it's going. So I'm in the town of Buena Vista del Norte. I'm just going to go and have a little look at the main square here. And then we're going to try and take a bus, because you can't drive yourself because it's restricted. That's the only way you can get there. Come to Buena Vista del Norte and take the 369 bus. So we're going to try and do that, but I've got about half an hour before the bus is due to leave, so I thought I'd come and have a quick look. Yeah, it's beautiful. The town itself dates back to 1513. Because it's tucked away behind the mountains, it escaped the mass tourism development of the south. The architecture in the Plaza de los Remedios is original colonial design. So the main attraction in the town is this little kiosk in the middle of the plaza. Don't just notice this house has wonky windows. This has got to be the quietest town that I've been to, which is just as well, because few people see me with this. I never actually explained. I've got this because I'm going to some place that I think will be quite windy. Oh, there's another church here. A tiny little one. The road west from Buena Vista is restricted, so to get to the lighthouse, you need to take the 369 bus. It only costs €1 each way, and means you can just sit back and enjoy the view. On the way there, grab a seat on the right side of the bus, and on the way back, a seat on the left. So the bus journey here itself was a bit of an experience, but the views are incredible. It's quite an interesting place. And first thing you see are Los Gigantes, 600-meter cliffs. So the wind here is pretty wild. I'm glad I brought this hoodie. It was worth looking like a twat walking around Buena Vista del Norte because I might have been a little bit cold. It's so exposed, but from here I can see my favourite island in the Canaries. That over there is La Gomera, and then on the bus on the way down, I'm sure actually over the other side we'll be able to see La Palma as well. Up here there's two lighthouses, an old one and a newer one, and the old one was built from rock brought over from La Gomera, because before this crazy road was built it was actually pretty much impossible to get here from Buena Vista del Norte. It was easier to arrive by boat from La Gomera than the newer one, which is the one that's operating today, was built in the 70s. So it looks like we can't actually get up to see the lighthouses, but they're doing some work on it. So the land here is over 7 million years old, which is pretty nuts. I think if we continue down here, there's access to the water. I just want to look at La Gomera. If you enjoy, or if you like the look of this part of Tenerife, you're definitely going to like La Gomera. It's like this, it's wild, it's beautiful, it's very lush and green. but it's much more authentic. But I guess you can see why the residents, the locals of Tenerife, are sort of against over-tourism, because it does spoil it a bit. There's the second lighthouse. The water here is pretty calm. A couple of people have come for a swim, to be fair.
I started off with an accidental discovery in San Juan and ended up at the jagged edge of the island. In between, I saw a city buried by fire and a fortress built by nature. The northwest of Tenerife proves that if you're willing to leave the sun lounger behind, this island has a wild, resilient soul just waiting to be found. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe and hit the notification bell. It really helps. Cheers, see you soon.